Hey everybody, welcome back into the show. We've got a special guest joining me on the desk for this interview. We've got Mitchell Northam, who is previously with Delmarva now, and he's got a brand new book out titled High School Basketball on Maryland's Eastern Shore, A Shore Hoops History. And Mitchell, we've been looking forward to this book coming out for quite some time. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I have too. Thanks for having me. It's all of high school basketball history on the Eastern Shore, kind of all in one place. I really just, when I was growing up here and working here on the shore, I heard about all these great stories about all these great players and teams and coaches, and always thought that it could be a book, and always thought that it would be great if it was all in one place. So now, I hope it is. I couldn't cover everything. This book probably would have to have been 7 times more thick.
Be a giant encyclopedia.
To cover every team and every player. But I hope that I hit the highlights and made these stories and this information, accessible for everybody.
Right. We've got about 400 pages of history in this book right here that's taken 2 years for you to write. Over 100 years of history in this book. I cannot wait to start reading this thing because being from northern Delaware, I don't know much about the Bayside nearly as much as you do, or Butch Waller, or some of the other people in this book. But tell us about just the journey of writing this 400-page book.
Yeah, so I kind of started, right when the pandemic sort of got underway there in March 2020. I was freelancing, covering a lot of college basketball down in North Carolina, and then the pandemic happened, and then sports kind of went on a pause. So I had time on my hands, and like I said, always thought that this could be a book. And pitched it to a couple publishers, and I was kind of on my way from there. But the biggest part was just trying to hunt everybody down and talk to all these people, because that's how the stories were told, from me talking to them and putting their stories in here, from the Butch Wallers to the David Birds to Brenda Jones to Tia Jackson to Kelly Gibson to Merrill Morgan to Andre Collins, all these different people sharing their stories with me so they could kind of be in one place.
Yeah, you just listed some absolutely incredible names. What kind of emotions go through you writing this book as you go along? Being from the Eastern Shore, this has never been put into a book before. What was it like going on this journey and just talking to all these different people and putting all that history right here into print?
Yeah, it was really fun, and also, a little emotional. Like I said, these were kind of, some of these stories that I was able to kind of put to page were stories that I had heard, while I was covering basketball on the Eastern Shore a couple years back for the Daily Times. Hanging around at Butch Waller's office late, or eating at Buffalo Wild Wings with David Bird or whatever. Hearing all these stories and finally putting them down was great. Talked to Merrill Morgan for a while, and I learned so many things. Like in 1976 was the only time that 2 Eastern Shore teams met for a state final. Colonel Richardson played Pocomoke for what would be now the 1A state championship. So that was something that I didn't know about. So I learned a lot, and I hope that other people will learn a lot if they picked up this book.
Yeah, that must be such a treat, as being able to sit in Butch Waller's office late at night and talk about Bayside basketball history, because I have so much fun whenever I'm at the Waller Dome talking with Butch before practice, after a game. He's just great to talk to.
Yeah, that's, I kind of wrote in the intro of my book, whenever I think about high school basketball on the Eastern Shore, I think of Waller's office and, all the things that are on the wall.
He's got Bayside history all over the place, plastered all over his office.
It's like walking into a museum. So that's kind of one of the first things that I think about. He's one of the sort of shepherds of the game around here, and one of the people who knows all these stories. I just wanted to put all of them to page, because there's so many people who know all these stories and who are part of these stories that unfortunately aren't with us anymore. Like Gail Gladding and Alan Miller, Grayson Hurley, some of these coaches that unfortunately aren't with us anymore. So I want to make sure that we're preserving this history before all of them, are gone.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, congratulations on getting this book done.
Thank you.
It was such a feat to be able to get all of that history put into this book right here. If you want, go ahead and hold that book up. Where can people go to find this and purchase it?
Yeah, so right now it's on Amazon, and so you can definitely get it there. I'll also be at the Hoops on the Ave event that's coming up at the end of this month.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be selling some paperbacks in person, so if you can't get it online, you know, I'll be there.
All right, Mitchell, thank you so much for coming out today and talking about this amazing book. Can't wait to start thumbing through it. So thank you so much for coming out. We'll be right back with more DSI. We've got news and weather coming up right after the break.
Hello, my name is Devon Malley, starting power forward for Polytech. You're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.